You've had those days, right? Those days where you felt like doing nothing, where you felt like everything's just falling apart, nothing could get worse. You're already at rock bottom, and it's like, how much more bad can things get? And then you're just like, F it, I'm gonna do nothing. I'm gonna sit in bed, lay in here and mope and cry, and that's okay. All those things are okay to do. My point is, though, when you're in that state, you feel like doing absolutely nothing. I mean, imagine if I just sat here and like did nothing. I didn't even make the video. I just hit record and just looked into the camera, you know? Like, it wouldn't get the message across, right? So there is some physical action that I need to take and some metaphysical action. And just as an example, and this is literally getting channeled through right now, this is beautiful. It's the first time I thought of this. The words I'm speaking that are traveling through the microphone, you can't even see. You can't see them. They're invisible. We can hear them though. They get picked up through those little tiny hairs in our ears. And the Coachella, is that why they call it Coachella? Is that why that festival is called that? You get it? So there is some physical action you need to take, like honoring your voice and speaking the words and choosing to say them. The decisions, the actions, the thoughts I'm sharing, and the action is the literally coming out of my mouth. You can't see it though. Imagine if you vacuumed your whole house and you didn't even plug in the vacuum. You just pretended that it was on and you're just vacuuming around. You didn't actually vacuum anything, right? Because it wasn't plugged in. There is some aspect to manifesting the life that you actually want. And that means not just taking the physical action of actually doing the thing, you have to do it in alignment. Because if we take the action of doing absolutely nothing, no action gets done. Now, if we take action and this moping, sad energy of like depression and depresso espresso, it's like, we're probably not going to be as productive. We're not going to be as sharp. We're not going to be telling people the words that we actually think. We'll probably overthink things and be scared to share. Because let me put it in better perspective for you. If I go ahead and put a curtain right here, curtain number 1, curtain number 2, could you imagine for one moment a depressed person under curtain number 1? What does that look like to you? Probably like this, right? Like, sad. Like, we've all been there. We know that feeling. Sad, depression, grief. It sucks, right? It sucks you dry, all your energy. There's no energy. There's nothing. Your attitude, state, your literal vibration is not in the place you'd prefer it to be, right? And curtain number 2 is somebody, let's imagine like someone who's super successful, someone who's constantly going to the gym, who has a routine, who has a business, who knows how to do things, isn't afraid to take action, and knows whatever mistake or problem is coming up is just a lesson so they can better themselves. What does that person probably look like to you? They're probably looking like freaking Superman behind curtain number 2 with their chest puffed out. They're feeling great. They're ready to share. They're ready to show up. They're ready to give. They're ready to be the version that they want to be. You see my point? We take 2 people and let's say they had the exact same freaking life. Let's say they were twins and they both grew up with abusive parents, you know, dysfunctional family, whatever. 2 different people can take 2 different actions and decisions in their life based on the mood and beliefs that they have. So your vibration is the number one most important thing, your state, in order for you to take the right strategy, which will lead to the right actions. And if you keep telling yourself a story of, oh, I blame my parents for this or this and that, and I blame this, you're the freaking blame king and queen, you start to create this story of everything sucks for you, which will put you in a horrible state. So the point I'm making is if you want to change this and not feel this way, ignore physical reality. Not just for like forever. Don't just forever ignore it. The point is to shift your vibration, ignore physical reality for the moment. Please do whatever it takes to just say, F it. I'm going to ignore what's happening. And it's time for you, like Abraham Hicks likes to say, get into the vortex. Meditate yourself and envision that life that you actually want, literally living it. What is it like to wake up and be that version? What does that feel like? And you want the feelings. You want the feelings of security if you're financially abundant, right? If there's love and you're in an amazing relationship, there's the feelings of love. You want the feelings. Get those feelings. What does it feel like to have a loving partner wake up next to you in the morning and kiss you and all that good ooey gooey stuff, and you can go buy the next Ferrari for the day because you're so rich? What does that feel like? It feels like freedom, right? How can you feel it in your chest? Because I am. I'm just closing my eyes and thinking about it. It feels like freedom. There's no chains, and if you can grab onto those feelings It's much better than the feelings you just had with your physical reality that was draining you, right? So now that you have those feelings, that's what it takes. You just take that state, you're plugging in your vacuum. It's that energy, that invisible energy of my voice coming out to the microphone that you're able to pick up through whatever phone or computer, wherever you're hearing this from, right? It's that invisibleness that actually makes the communication possible. It's the electricity plugged into the vacuum that makes it possible for you now to vacuum your house. Now you have a strategy, right? You can now go ahead and vacuum this room and that room and that room. And if your goal was to vacuum the whole house and have it clean, now you will eventually, after room after room after room, have a whole clean house. Except you got to plug it in. You got to be in the right state. And you got to know that the story is that this vacuum does clean. So you need to start telling yourself that you are amazing, that you can do this, that it is possible. Not sitting around in the blame and boo-hoo me and creating a worse state for yourself. It's that you start aligning the energy with those feelings. And now your state's in the right place. Now you got to tell yourself the right story. It's possible for me. I can do this. It's okay. I will take consistent, imperfect action until I get there. And that may be your strategy for a little while. The consistent strategy that you take in alignment with the vision that you hold for yourself, that vibrational bandwidth that you are now bringing here, that's what it means. You create that vision and you take the vibrational bandwidth of that version of you, you take it here, you tune into it, and you start taking action in alignment with that vision, regardless of your physical reality. Then, once you're in alignment, now you can come back to physical reality with the right state. Because now your story is different. Now you have the right mindset. Now you can take action in physical reality. Do you understand? That's all it takes. Ignore physical reality just for a little bit to put yourself in that right state. Forget about all your worries, all your concerns. Put them all in an imaginary box and transmute it. And then once you're in the right state, now you can take on physical reality. Now you can actually engage with physical reality and be non-attached because, yeah, you may, because it's not here yet, the vision you've created, but that's how everybody's done anything. Apple didn't become Apple overnight. Rome wasn't built in a day. Somebody had a vision for something and they just kept taking action. And regardless of the BS they had to go through, they just kept going and going and going. Energizer, baby. Pink bunny, right? I got these pink bunny ears. Keep going and going and going and going and hippity hoppity. That's all you got to do. And if that's what it takes, you just got to put yourself in that state like, hey, F this, I'm going to hippity hoppity, let's do this. And you know what? Part of it is taking physical action that gets you feeling better. Even try hippity hoppiting like a bunny, I start getting more energy. I'm actually even more excited, right? Because my nervous system is being activated. It's being excited. It's playful. It's childish. It's fun. And if you can lead with that energy, you are going to win. You're going to get there eventually. Or, I mean, you'll never get there if you just sit around and mope all day. Or worst of all, you'll never start, right? So get yourself in alignment, then engage with physical reality. Because now, here's the thing. Here's the key to this. Is now you're non-attached. Now you're non-attached to the outcome of physical reality. Whatever shows up, you have the mindset of where you want to be. And you're not delusional for doing this, right? That was my main focus that I wanted to point out. You're not delulu for meditating yourself and believing and taking the energy and the feelings of that version of you and taking action this way. You're not delusional for doing that. The person who created Apple isn't delusional for that. The person who imagined these bunny ears isn't delusional for creating an imagination, getting in a feeling and a state, and then taking action. That's not delusional. That's called being highly motivated, and I know you are. So have an alchemizing day. I love you so much. Just take action and ignore physical reality for just a little bit. And once you're in the right state, then go right ahead and engage with physical reality again, knowing that you are tilt-proof. Physical reality can't affect you because you're in the right state. And you can also create the story that you are unstoppable and that physical reality cannot affect you. And if you can do that, you've just become unlimited. All right, so I love you. Bye.